Language and identity. Now, language has been related to identity, and it is the most obvious marker of one's identity. Someone speaks in Urdu or someone speaks in French, apart from other things that you might notice about a person's outlook, you sort of try to identify or place them in different nation states or different communities. And you make a lot of judgments about who they are, where they come from, which area do they belong to, or do they have like a rural location or do they have an urban location, all comes from the language they are using. Now, in the same strain, the nation states emphasize a lot on the use of national languages. For them, the language becomes a symbol of national identity. As we all know, Urdu, for instance, became the kind of identity or the language around which they were the leaders were able to galvanize a whole political force on the basis of which Pakistan came into being. However, once Pakistan was made, there was this issue of Urdu being the sole language, and we had to sort of put in Bengali in there also. And the resistance to allow Bengali to work as a national language led to dire issues. So there is across the world focus on making all the people sort of learn the national language. So if you are in Estonia, unless you know Estonian and you're only speaking Russian, they won't allow you to become or they won't recognize you as a full citizen. Not only this, this focus on assimilation also becomes clear when we think of this, for instance, Kurdish speakers who are not allowed to use their language across different states in which they are spread, Syria, Iran, Turkey, but Kurdish language is not supported. Having said that, even if when you go for immigration, you applied for immigration, the test, one of the key tests that you have to appear for if you're in any state is a language test of the language that is most widely spoken in that country. If you fail that test, you don't get a citizenship, get the citizenship. So language has been focused upon by the states, encouraged in terms of national identity. Please remember this emphasis by nation states on the individuals is not just unidirectional. The individuals also at times try to affiliate themselves with some imagined communities, whether these communities sort of signify a state or a speaking community, and that somehow leads to their language choices that they use, the languages they learn, the functions for which they use different languages. This is all some sort of coming from their sense of affiliation with their imagined communities. So what we are saying over here, that languages do not just perform a symbolic function for which nations, states actually use them, and individuals also respond to them. It has a semiotic function, also a meaning-making function, which becomes very important if you think that individuals have to operate in today's world with different communities and they need to construct meanings, they need to communicate with them. So languages also have this rhetorical function, a function that is all about discursive construction of self and solidarity. If you speak a language, you sort of identify yourself with a certain community. You want to show solidarity. You want to show your sense of identity that stands along with the state. And at times when the small minority communities are trying to revitalize their languages, what they are trying to do is to maintain their culture and their own identity in the face of fast-paced globalization that seems to sort of take in everybody in the same wave. And emotions, anxiety, all the attitudes or the pressures are all very important in how languages are maintained or if the languages are shifted. And this brings us to the last point, which is talking about that identity also is not just one, it is multiple. A person, any one person holds multiple identities. So you want to belong to this Pakistani identity, want to show that you belong to this nation state, yet you also want to affiliate with a wider international community. And at different points in life, during the same day even, you hold different identities. You're a part of a community, you're part of a state, you're a part of an international community. And if identity is related to language, then we need to support different languages or bilingualism in our the school system and in our wider communities to sort of help us function in a more positive and enriching way in the environment around us.